You get to come in and play part-time good dad after I've already fixed everything.
All right, look, I'm trying here, okay? This shit is hard for me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What part is hard for you? Oh, the free time or the full night's sleep? Which part?
Shut up. You never talked to me. You never even pretended to give me a chance.
I gave you a chance and you moved away.
Yeah, to take a job I already had before you blew my life up.
Blew your life up?
Yeah.
You are not a fucking victim,
Well,
Lawrence.
you made a decision without me, and now you're trying to use it as an excuse to keep him from me.
Wow. You know what? This half in, half out shit, it isn't working for me. He's not going with you.
Yo, give me my son.
No!
I'm tired of this, all right? I'm not doing this with you anymore. We don't have to talk. But just know I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get my son, with or without you.
What did you just say?
You heard me.
Get the fuck out of my house.
The clip that you just heard was from Insecure, Season 5, Episode 3. And to my mind, that was basically the crux of the whole episode, the ending part, when they were in the kitchen and what she said versus what he said. And what she said was probably more important and actually ties up the reasoning from the last season about it's not an option for her in keeping the baby. Because I had said, it's obvious to me that this is a keep a Negro baby. And this is a Hail Mary, in my opinion. Did she want the child? Yes. Did she want to keep it? Yes. The thing is, why? And why him? You could have picked any random dude to have a baby by, if that's what you wanted. You're a good-looking woman, you're successful, you're 92. You could have picked another guy. You could have picked your ex-husband to have a baby by, if that's what you really wanted. Why him? Why after you break up? And why when he's getting ready to leave? And it's obvious. I gave you a chance and you moved away. Now, you could have took your happy ass up to San Francisco with him and gone through all the pregnancies and all the caretaking. You could have moved right in with him and gone through all that stuff with him. That's not what you wanted. You decided that you wanted to have the baby. You decided that you wanted to go through this. You decided that you wanted to make this decision. And you decided this regardless of what it was going to take everybody else through. You blew up his relationship with somebody else. You put stress on him because he's moving away to a new job. You knew all of that before you decided to keep the baby, but you didn't care. I know, I've been through this shit. I always said, this is something I've always said, a woman can do more damage with her womb than a man with a gun. A woman with her womb can affect more lives than a man with a gun over 3, 4, 5 generations. That's been proven by Yana Van Zant. And normally, originally I had given most of the women in Insecure credit for being smart enough not to do dumb shit like this. And the last person I thought would do some dumb shit like this is Condola. People are not calling her out on. This was dumb shit from the beginning. Let's go back to the conversation that they had from season 4.
I'm pregnant.
What? No, but I thought we were careful.
Me too.
Are you sure it's mine?
Yes. I'm keeping it.
Why? Why this is not a good time. We're not even together. Why would you want this?
This is not ideal for me either. But that's just not an option for me. I wasn't ready with Mark. But this time I want to keep it. And it's not like I don't want kids. I do.
Fuck.
I know. And I'm not expecting anything from you. I don't want you to feel trapped. You can be as involved as you want. Either way, I'm good.
Remember when he said, I thought we were careful? She didn't reply. Of course, you were careful. She wasn't. She's careful. She crafted this. We gave her credit because we didn't know the whole story and what was behind it. This is not an accident. That's how come he's pissed off. Before you decided to do this and blow up my life. Exactly. You decided this to blow up his life. You decided it because you didn't want him to leave. You decided because now you want him. And whatever you did, because we have no clue, because we have no kind of insight to why they broke up in the first place. Whatever it is, whatever you did, whatever happened, you pushed him away and you wanted him back. because you never lost connection with her. This is your last piece of connection with her. And this is your power play. Don't get this twisted. Everybody's feeling sorry for her. Oh, she's struggling because she's a single mother. Oh, because she's a caretaking parent. She's the one that made the decision, not him. He's trying his best to fit this decision that she made into his life because he wants to be as much in his son's life as he can. We always knew in Insecure that they wanted Lawrence in Los Angeles because Lawrence is the everyman, okay? Whatever men do, they push on Lawrence, which I think is unfair because whatever it is, they don't want Lawrence to be happy at all, ever. Lawrence gets his first taste of success at a job that he wants, in a place that he wants, and living the life that he wants. And as soon as he starts doing that, guess what? This happens. You know, in the beginning of this episode, he's brokenhearted because Issa decides to go another direction, which I don't blame her. You know, I have no problem with that. And as Lawrence as a man should not want to involve Issa in this mess because it's already messy. It was messy when she did it. It's messy how she did it, and it's messy how this is going about. She could be more accommodating because it's a decision that she makes. Does she want Lawrence in this baby's life or not? That's what it comes down to. Does she want Lawrence in his baby's life or not? Make a fucking decision. Say that you don't want him in Lawrence in the baby's life. You could have not sent a text. You could have not made the phone call. You could have told Lawrence, hey, you know what? I don't blame you. I got this. Don't come down. Lawrence would have had no choice except to make an accommodation. I wish they would stop freaking lying in this episode, in this series, trying to make her look like she's not, like she's a victim. She is not. She made the decision and she's the one pulling the strings on this. She's making decisions and throwing it in his face. Whether you're going to make a decision or not, you know what's going on with him. You know that you put him in this position. You know that it's rough for him to be, 500 miles away and having to fly down. You're not flying up with the baby. You could get your ass on a plane. You could actually get a doctor in San Francisco, get your ass on a plane, fly up for an hour, stay with him over whatever, a weekend, whatever it takes, and be there with him, with the baby, if that's what you want. You can find a way to actually accommodate him. It's not fair that he has to work 80 hours a week and then find a window to fly down to take care of whatever you need to take care of anyway. I had to call Tiffany to go to urgent care. They got Uber. They got Lyft. They got a cab. You have a mother and you got a sister. They're in your freaking life. They're all up in your business. They're the first ones you should call. You got a ton of friends. This is why I hate when women try to do shit the wrong way. And this country allows women to do shit the wrong way. Okay, let's go through the episode before I go on a complete tangent. Now, we have no clue about when Lawrence left, and this is part of what I don't like about Insecure. There's all kind of holes. And as a storyteller, you're supposed to close up some of those holes. And normally with Molly and Issa and whoever, they kind of sew up some of these holes. They fill in some of these gaps. So you kind of know at least a thread of what's going on. They have never filled in the gap with Condola and Lawrence. Never fill in the gap. We have no clue about their relationship after they supposedly broke up. We have no clue why they broke up. All this interaction between him and the baby, this kind of stuff. We at least deserve to know why they broke up. How come they didn't make it? Because Lawrence wanted to marry the girl and something went left. And he was still dealing with the girl up until Issa marched her ass into his life again. I've been there, the pull between two women. And the women called it back in season 4, exactly what Condola was going to do. That pull between two women, and Condola didn't want to ease out of his life. She pulled the pregnancy card. She's still pulling the pregnancy card. That's like she's trying to force him back down to Los Angeles. She knows what she's doing. Why don't you have the ovaries enough to actually put it on the table? I need a father. I need a husband. We need to do this together. The reason that you don't, because you know that's going to put you at a deficit. Now you got to make this work, and you should make it work because you need to make it work for your child. It ain't on him. Now, being in his life, we put a lot of pressure on guys about being in your children's lives. Okay, if the children were brought in proper, they have no problem with that. You marry a chick, you get her pregnant, and you have a kid, and knowingly, and you agree to this, partner, you need to step up and be that. You get put in a position, you do the best you can. I'm an old man. A woman pulls this shit on you, you never not resent her. There will never be a time that in this child's life or in your life for the rest of your life, you will resent that woman for putting you in this position. She knows that because you made a decision to wreck 3 lives, not just his, but yours and the baby's. You put everybody in this position by a decision that you made. And if she was a ratchet and she was reckless and everybody knows that she was reckless about to do this kind of stuff, I'd be fine with it. It is what it is. Lauren should have known better. But this girl, this woman, married for 10 years, didn't have no baby. You dated after you were divorced. You didn't have no baby the whole time you were with him. You never came up pregnant. Why at the end, when he's getting ready to leave, you pop up pregnant? And you're going to think that's a mistake? That's a coincidence? Stop it. Anyhow, let's go to this episode. Okay, he finds out through a text, which I think is bullshit, that you have a baby. Why don't you get on the phone and call him? He's at dinner. When you went into labor, if you really wanted him to know, you'd have told him you're in labor because you went into labor early. If you really want to keep him connected, he's 500 miles away. He doesn't know. I would love to tell you to give my personal experience, but the thing is, I don't want to put the mother of my children out there, okay? That's the only reason I'm not saying it, because it's a family issue. I would really love to tell you the story, but I'm not going to tell you the story, okay? I know what he went through. And women do dumb shit and expect you to come in and sweep up the leavings, okay? In other words, they make a mess, they expect you to come in and clean it up. She expects him to come in and clean up her mess, okay? Text, he walks in, he flies down, he walks in to actually find his baby. The doctors and nurses already know that he's coming. She knows that he's coming. She knows he's going to fly down. She knows the man. Now, he walks into this hostile environment to see his baby with the sister calling him Ashy Larry and that look on his face like, oh crap, he just showed up on the mother's face, and that awkward silence because they know what they've been talking. He knows it. He can feel it. They've been talking buku mess about him. So far, all this stuff about you being able to be involved as you wish, as much as you want, is bullshit. She's pissed because she played her trump card and he left anyway, which goes back to the beginning of this episode, the beginning of this podcast. Played the trump card, it didn't work. And so you've been, for 10 months, you've been talking mess to the women in your family. So how come she smiled when he walked in? Oh, okay, it worked. Yeah, it worked. So they go through this with the Ashy Larry stuff and the contempt that he can feel. And all through the series about the doctor, and they're going back and forth and arguing about it. Okay, that's a freaking stressful, like a divorced couple. She's angry with him and it's coming out. A woman like Condola is very passive aggressive. Remember sign language, shame, insults, guilt, and need to be right. Okay, you can see it all throughout this series, all throughout this episode. She's shamed because she actually did this. Okay, she's guilty because she placed it on him. But the thing is, she's trying to make up for it by the need to be right, and she's trying to put up the need to be right. She's shaming him. You're not here. You don't make a decision. I got to do all this stuff by myself. Yes, you got to do it all by yourself. You're the one that volunteered for this. You're the one that orchestrated this, but you expect him to come in and be an equal partner without having an equal decision. You're still mad at him because he said he didn't want the baby. You thought it was going to change his mind and bring you two back together. That's what you thought. But nobody wants to put that in this series. She needs to say it out of her mouth. Even though, you know what, even in real life, they never say it out of their mouth. They never admit it. Trust and believe, man. That's 20 years after the kid is grown when you hear this stuff. What Lauren says, I've already been. I made a sacrifice to try to clean up this mess. Lawrence is trying to make a sacrifice to clean up this mess. Ultimately, the only way to clean it up is to marry her. That's the only way to give her what she wants. And if you do that, you're still going to resent her because the way she played you. It is what it is. So we see them going back and forth over visits and doctor's appointments and all this kind of stuff, right? Arguing over back and forth saying that you're not here to take care of stuff, right? That's the basic thing. In other words, put more pressure on him to actually move down and be Johnny on the spot, be the quote unquote husband, father, the co-parent. Really not co-parenting. But anyway, the first part of where you really see where this is coming in is them going to a freaking birthday party for Tiffany's baby. And you want him to go with you. And he says, with Ja. Yes. In other words, I want us to be a family because it looks good. That's obvious. If that's not as obvious as you can picture it, fine. I mean, not fine. That was a nail in the coffin to me. Okay. Why don't you just say it? Why through this series? Why don't they just say it instead of having people assume? This has been the plan from the very beginning. If we had known why they broke up in the first place and how that went down, this would be obvious. It's obvious to me. Okay, he goes there. He's doing his best to play daddy. He's trying to smooth with everybody. He's trying to make this accommodation, and he does something she doesn't like, and she blows up, and she becomes unreasonable, and she forces a scene. Like, give me my baby. She forces a scene. Why'd you have him come all the way down there to be together with you? You could have went to the party. He would have never known about it. He probably wouldn't have even cared. You did this on purpose. Same thing with the baptism. I've already got it planned. I already got the place. Blah, blah, blah. You didn't ask to consult me, especially if I'm going to invite my parents. I'm down here by myself. I have to make all these decisions because you're not here. Shame, guilt, and the need to be right. Shaming him, making him feel guilty because you're trying to make him do something that he really doesn't want to do against his will. It's obvious. You can see her marching him down the path. And now didn't you agree that he can take the baby for a weekend up to his place and bond with the baby? You agree to it, and at the last second, you want to change your mind. You're forcing a scene. You're forcing the drama. And then spills out, I don't trust you. You could have told him that on the phone. You could have told him that before you agreed to actually let the baby go. She orchestrated all of this stuff. You could have simply explained to him. You could explain to him on the phone, look, new baby, less than a year old. I'm real protective. Can we wait on this? Can we slow it down? It's not about you. I am really overprotective right now. It's not about you. Can we wait? Can we slow this down? He would have agreed. You're pissed off because he cancels at the last second and you want to get back at him. You want to be back in a relationship with this man. Just say it. You should have been honest when you got pregnant. It's not about the baby. It's about us. That would have been the honest thing to say. It ain't about being pregnant. It ain't about the baby. I want you. And I want you to be the father of my baby. And you know what? And most women, especially black women, do not have the guts to say this. Do not have the guts to say it because it will put too much pressure and too much responsibility, too much accountability on their heads. She could have sat right down with him and said, hey, I'm pregnant. I want to have a baby, but I want to have a baby with you. And I am willing to do whatever it takes to make this work. That's all she had to say. I want to do whatever it takes to make this work. She could have done that. And she could have been honest about it. Believe it or not, he still had love for the woman. There's no way he could be that involved and that captured by that woman and still not have love for her. He wasn't with Condola because she wasn't making him happy. Because whatever things that she's going through, we know very little about the girl. So whatever it was that went on with her, between her and her husband, because I would love to know why they broke up. I would love to know why you spent 10 years with a man, with a husband, and didn't have a kid. But a man getting ready to jump into another relationship and getting ready to move out of town, you decide to get pregnant by him. And then pretend like you could care less whether he's in the baby's life or not. Bullshit. Admit it. You want him and the baby together because you love the man. And that's one thing I have never heard her say about their relationship is that she loves Lawrence, which is obvious that she does. It's obvious that she does. And that needs to be stated. That needed to be brought out. Now, I know it's already done. It's already in the can. They can't hear what I'm saying. That all the stuff that they're going through, all this crap that's going around in this episode is because she wants that man. And she wants that man as a husband. A picture in her head is her, Lawrence, and that baby together. That's why she wanted him at Tiffany's. That's how come she wanted him at the baptismal. That's how come she wanted him to be there in the hospital when the baby was born. The baby wasn't due. She could have told him that the baby was here a week after she got out of the hospital. Baby's not going anywhere. She could have been there with the baby without her folks around. She could have checked her sister. Her mom could have checked her sister. Lawrence is not an appendage. Either you want the man in the baby's life as a father or you don't. And I get sick of this. It's always on the man. Well, he got her pregnant. He should be there for the baby because woe is her and she's got all the burdens. She made the goddamn choice to do this. He did not. The burden is on the person that made the choice, not the person that has to live with the result of the choice. I don't blame Rom. This episode pissed me off because it's unfair. Every woman that looked at this episode, they had to put their heads down. Even though they might have agreed with Condola, they know that this shit was unfair because they know what she did. They know in their heart of hearts, they knew it last year and this confirmed it. They know what she's doing. Now we know that Insecure does funny stuff and basically the way they have things that Lawrence and Issa are supposed to get married at the very end, right? Probably. I don't know how that's going to work because in real life, that wouldn't happen. Lawrence should go ahead and marry Condola and be unhappy just like everybody else. If she wanted him, she wanted to marry him, she should have, when he was willing to marry her and be with her, she should have made him happy and none of this stuff would have happened. Why try to do it on the back end? It makes no sense. But the thing is, you black women do shit backwards. All you have to do is do the right thing in the front end instead of trying to do this BS, this baby BS in the back end. And every black woman that looks at this show knows exactly what I'm talking about. Well, this part-time father, this kind of stuff. He didn't sign up to be a part-time father. She signed him up to be a part-time father. Well, you had sex with her. 33 forms of birth control, not including abortions and condoms. Give me a break. We know how this works. Smart woman like Condola, college educated, 92, she knows how this works. Lawrence saying, I thought we were careful. She knew how it works. She assured him that she wasn't going to get pregnant because she had never gotten pregnant. No matter how nice they are, no matter how sweet they are, at the end of the day, black women are black women. This is black women stuff. But this is also why they have to have Jay Ellis on this series. Because only Jay Ellis can actually deliver scenes like this. No slouch to the other people in the cast, right? There's a reason that the Lawrence character has been here for 5 seasons. The Lawrence character was supposed to be killed off after season 1, after he bounced. There's a reason they keep Lawrence around. It's because the Lawrence character is the only character that can deliver a scene like this, can deliver this kind of drama, this kind of impact, unfortunately. I don't agree how they write this stuff. I don't agree what kind of position they put him in because they don't put any other characters in this position. If anything, Issa should have been in this position. Then at least we would have a backstory about how this came about and why this is happening. Well, with Issa, it would have been too obvious. Probably even more obvious with Condola. But you can pretend that Condola didn't know because we don't know any of the backstory. I think they did this on purpose. Because it's really not about who's right or wrong. It's people talking. It's drama. But anywho, that will serve as my review. It's not exactly a complete review of Insecure. Season 5, episode 3. But I don't do blow by blow reviews. This will probably be a bookend to what Ram was saying. So maybe next week it'll be a less controversial episode and we can get back to doing character sketches and stuff like that. But for right now, I don't think anybody really cares about the surrounding things because the surrounding stuff is just background for everything else. But one thing I do want to say, I'm getting freaking tired of Derek being a simp. Tiffany's husband, I'm getting freaking tired of him being a simp. I'm getting freaking tired of him being a white knight. I know he didn't want Lawrence to make a scene at his party, but nobody checked Condola. But I can tell you, if Condola had pulled that shit at the party with me, she wouldn't see me for a month. All she got to say is give me my baby one time. She wouldn't have seen me for a month. Because I gave her a baby, say, oh, is that how it is? I'd bounce. I'd have jetted from that party. Which you should have done. She just gave her the baby and jetted. Just walked out. But anyway, let me get out of here, man, before I start ranting even more. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.